What's up, guys? This is Jay, and welcome to my first ever podcast. Now, if you're listening, you're either listening to this on my YouTube or you're on my Soundcloud. In that case, hello and welcome. Now, I wanted to make a podcast for the longest time, and now I'm finally doing it. So, here we go. Today, I would like to talk about 13 reasons why and why I do not like it. And I do not think it is a good thing to show to people who are being bullied, who are depressed, who are suicidal, and why I do not believe that this is actually gonna help and put an end or a stop to bullying. Now, if you do not know 13 Reasons Why, it is based on a book which came out in 2007, also called 13 Reasons Why. And it's basically about a girl who's called Hannah Baker who commits suicide and leaves behind a box of 13 tapes on why she did it. 13 Reasons Why it came out on Netflix March 31st, and in May it was announced that it's going to be renewed for a season 2, which is going to come out in 2018. Now, me personally, I have not seen 13 Reasons Why, and I do not intend on watching it. I did, however, watch a couple of the scenes that were really talked about, like the suicide scene, for example. I watched those on YouTube, and wow, man. Honestly, let's just jump right into it. I saw the suicide scene on YouTube, and I'm not depressed, nor am I suicidal. But it even triggered me. It made me very uncomfortable. Now, I used to get bullied myself for 5 years. I was depressed for 8 years, and I was suicidal, so I know what it feels like. But wow, it's just so dark. And now I'm 22 and I made it out of depression, and I was able to just make peace with my past. But for people who are going through this right now, young teenagers who are experiencing that right now and who are suicidal, that scene alone can be so very triggering. I don't know if you guys have like a Tumblr account, but if you ever just go through like the suicide and depression hashtags and you get on the profiles, the blogs of all these teenagers, you're gonna see a lot of blood, and it's very sad. And it's just so very triggering. I know they wanted to make it and show it as real as possible, as it is. And suicides happen. The stuff that they portrayed and the suicide scene they portrayed, it does happen like that. But it still has Hollywood written all over it, if you ask me. The entire series. Because, for example, I've also seen the scene where Clay basically tells Hannah that he loves her, and she tells him, I wish you would have told me that when I was still alive. Now, honestly, in real life, if something like that ever happened, where basically another person would pour out their heart to this suicidal, depressed person, I don't think a suicide would happen. I don't think if something like that happens in real life that there would be a book about it or a series about it. Also, the whole thing with the 13 tapes, now it's obviously about people, and she killed herself because of other people and what they did to her. So overall, if you look at it, her suicide, it comes across and looks like she just wanted attention. And also, for teenagers, young people watching this, it's gonna make them feel like it is okay to make other people feel bad about your death if you do commit suicide, which I don't want anybody to commit suicide, but I'm just saying it makes the whole thing seem like she just wants revenge, because obviously these people are gonna live with that for the rest of their lives. I mean, yes, I understand it's a series, but it's obviously getting a season 2. Who knows, maybe even a season 3. We don't know what's gonna happen. But in the series, these people have to live with that, and it's also gonna be like that in real life. And the thing is, there have been copycats. There have been people, young adults, teenagers, who killed themselves and either left tapes behind, like in 13 Reasons Why, and you can Google this, by the way, if you haven't heard. And then there are also teenagers who binge watched the entire season and then just committed suicide. I don't know, obviously you didn't really prevent anything, but triggered people into death. And this is just why I just do not like it, because me personally, again, I was bullied myself. I was depressed for 8 years. I was suicidal. I didn't want to be here anymore. I know what it's like, but I made it out. And of course, it's nice to have all these things against bullying and so many things in school going on, but basically everybody is just saying that bullying is bad, and I've made a YouTube video on this. It's called Bullying Does Not Kill People, because honestly I believe this, that bullying does not kill people. People kill people. The answer to bullying and to prevent it and to make numbers drop again is not to basically fight bullying. You cannot fight bullying. I mean, we have wars going on, or we had wars going on in the past, right? And basically, or my question is, did it do anything? Are we living in peace? I mean, obviously, we still got a lot of shit going on, but I always say, bombing for peace is like fucking for virginity. It just makes no sense. And this is the same case. It does not make sense to fight bullying. You cannot stop it by fighting it and by telling people that it is bad. We all know that it is bad. We also know that smoking cigarettes and drinking alcohol is bad, yet a lot of people are doing it. So how do we stop bullying? And the answer is self-love. We have to teach kids about self-love. Because, first of all, no person who loves themselves would go off bullying another person. They wouldn't even have the time, nor would they just want to do something like that if they really love themselves. And also, if you love yourself, no matter what anybody says about you, behind your back, in front of you, to your face, or whatever somebody else is just doing to you, it wouldn't affect you like that. Especially the talking. You wouldn't even care what anybody else has to say about you. That's the thing. When you love yourself, you just don't care, because you are your own best friend. I would have really enjoyed watching this series if it would have been like this. If Hannah would have not killed herself. And I think even the producer said that they were thinking about it, keeping Hannah alive, and I would have liked to see that. I think if they would have played it like how I'm about to say it, it would do a lot more against bullying than how they played it right now. Because 13 Reasons Why is probably some of the darkest shit I've ever, obviously not seen, but just hearing about it and hearing everybody talk about it and seeing these clips on YouTube, it's very, very dark and it's very, very sad, and it doesn't make you feel good inside. So I think they should have played it like this, that yes, Hannah is like has all these people talking about her and all these things that happen to her, that all of this happens, but with Clay being by her side, she makes it through. And you could have obviously played this through more than just one season. You could put this into multiple seasons and basically just show it as Hannah's fight to get back into her life. and basically her journey to find herself and to learn how to love herself, and then even be with Clay, and then on the side, all the other people around. Obviously this can go many routes, but how you can just play it out, but the main thing, what I would have liked to see, is a young person who actually makes it through depression and comes out on the other side stronger than they've ever been before. Because all we hear is bullying is bad, depression is bad, people kill themselves, but nobody is really helping these kids. And I think if they would have just seen on mainstream like video and this series, if they just would have seen it on a series that is on Netflix, that you can make it through, so many kids would get so much hope that things actually do get better. Because the thing right now is, obviously it's the truth to say things get better, because they really can get better and you can make it out of there. But the thing is, it's just not being shown. And Netflix is this huge thing that so many people are on and watching all these different things. And obviously 13 Reasons Why was hyped up as fuck. And everybody was watching it. All these YouTubers were making videos about it. Everybody binge watched it, or they've watched it like episode by episode, just like Clay listens to the tapes, because they like need time, everybody at their own pace. I don't know, I think you had like a really good chance there to actually do something for victims of bullying, and you just kind of shot the other way. Because the thing is, yes, bullying is bad, and we should definitely do something about it. But the thing is, by going after people who are bullying other kids, it's like you're going after David when you want to go for Goliath. And Goliath is the kids that are being bullied and that are just so very affected by this. It's up to the kids who are being bullied to feel better. That's the thing. They need to learn how to love themselves. They need to learn how to be their best friends. They need to learn that the relationship you have with yourself is the most important. And by watching something like this, all these depressed and suicidal kids are just being absolutely triggered, and people have died and committed suicide because they've watched this series. I'm not saying that it is the reason why people kill themselves. No, but it is a trigger, and it could be the final trigger for somebody where they really feel like it is the last way out. And maybe even on my way out, I'm just gonna, make everybody else who did all these things to me feel bad. Now, if kids do commit suicide, the others have to live with that for the rest of their lives, and they're going to have to fight with that. And some of these kids may never forgive themselves. We never know. But the thing is, we can actually change something but we have to do it by teaching kids how to love themselves. 13 Reasons Why is just going the complete other way. The most important thing that kids should learn about if they do get bullied, it is that how another person treats you has nothing to do with you. It is merely a reflection of themselves. So let's say somebody tells you, hey, you're ugly, hey, I don't like you, or all these things that kids nowadays get to hear. You would actually, instead of taking it, believing it, and making it your own reality, and actually believing what these kids are saying, believing that about yourself, instead, you should feel sorry for them, because it shows you just how much these kids love themselves, and obviously they don't. Otherwise, they wouldn't run around and say something like that. So, for me, I learned that, it took me 8 years, but I learned it that how other people treat me has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with how they treat and see themselves. But kids do believe the stuff others are saying, and they care about what other people think about them. I've been there. I know society. I know what it's like to be in school and surrounded by so many people. And it does affect you. It does have an effect on you, obviously, especially when you're so young and you just don't know no better. But the sooner you understand that how others treat you has nothing to do with you, the better, because you can build upon that. It is basically your foundation. Now, I don't know how you guys feel about this. If you're watching on YouTube, then leave me a comment. Tell me how you feel about this. If you're on Soundcloud listening, also leave a comment, and we can just talk about this, because obviously so far you've only been listening to me. But I hope that we can just, talk about this. I know there are a lot of people who absolutely love 13 Reasons Why. Obviously, it is there for your entertainment, so I don't want to take that away from anybody. If you enjoyed watching it, then good for you. This is obviously just my opinion, and I'm just saying that for people who are depressed, who are suicidal, this is not the right thing to watch to show them anything. We need to teach these young kids, these teenagers, these young adults about self-love, and not keep on saying that bullying is bad, because we know that. But it is time that we take this another direction, and obviously the other direction is to teach people about self-love. And with that, I'm going to finish this little discussion, my first podcast. Yay! If you enjoyed it, then just subscribe for more, and I hope to see you, or should I say, well, obviously I can't see you, but to hear you around next time. Have a nice day.